Here at MEX, we've been working hard on releasing the latest build of MEX 15 and have some really exciting new enhancements and changes to announce. In this release, we've introduced a few enhancements that will make using some parts of MEX a lot easier. You are able to add a document to MEX using drag and drop now. In conjunction with a bit of freeware named Outlook File Drag, you can also drag and drop out of Outlook. The download link is available in the description. Open up a work order in MEX and simply browse to the Documents tab. Drag the document you wish to add to MEX and drop it on this tab. We have also added a priority risk matrix to the work orders, request, and preventative maintenance modules. This priority calculator basically allows you to select answers for a few questions and it determines the job's priority. Let's take a look at how this new priority risk matrix works. Navigate to the work order module and view the details for an open work order. You should see an ellipsis button next to the priority dropdown. Simply give this a click and the priority matrix will open. In the priority matrix window, you can see 4 dropdowns. The contents of these dropdowns are configured in the risk priority matrix section of the control files, but you are given some defaults to get started. Each dropdown value has a different score, and as you go through and pick a value for each dropdown, this recalculates your total score. Once you are done, simply click OK, and your total score will be used to determine what priority your work order is. Let's navigate to the priority section of the control files. You'll notice a new field called minimum score. When your total score from the risk priority matrix is greater than the minimum score of the priority, but less than the next highest priority's minimum score, that priority will be selected. If there are 2 priorities with the same minimum score, it will pick the highest priority. For those customers that use the store's inventory module of MEX, we've introduced a new supplier invoice module. This allows a user to more easily validate the supplier's invoice against the items that you've actually received from the supplier. On top of the streamlined and improved interface, in order for a supplier invoice to be processed into invoice matches, it must be approved. To improve the identification of assets that require critical safety measures when operating, an asset that has a criticality flag selected is displayed on the work order and request details screens and the work order printout. The criticality flags are also shown on the Details tab in the Asset Register main screen. Bringing back a popular feature from version 12, themes allow you to change the color scheme of MEX, ranging from darker tones to a much brighter touch. The new themes can be accessed from the MEX hamburger menu like this. Try one out today. Now let's take a look at the bug fixes that have gone into this release. Reports. In November's release of MEX, we introduced a brand new report designer. This release sees a few more fixes to the build so that our users can work with MEX reports with ease. Some of the fixes put in place in this build for reports are: attached documents with multiple pages will now print out correctly with the work order report. The report designer data preview can now be viewed when using the @region_ID query parameter as expected. Dates now show correctly on the scheduled reports parameter options. Security. Settings applied to defaults in options management will now carry across to all new users in all situations. Security groups on the MEX user tab now correctly show on smaller screens. Work orders. Confirm work order dates finished now shows correctly in all versions of Google Chrome. When assigning a tradesperson through the work order scheduler, MEX now warns you if a person's qualifications have expired. Repair time required validation now does not affect committed work orders. Timesheets. Work orders selected for timesheet lines are correctly selected when choosing from the dropdown. Preventative maintenance. When raising a work order from the activator for a record that is not at the top of the listing, the view will no longer jump back to the top of the listing. General. Clicking Show More to load more items in a listing now updates the column filters to include the new items added to the listing. Data-driven dropdowns now return the correct value after refreshing. Requests. Decline requests no longer appear in the request listing. If you have automatic updates checked, then the upgrading process will be just as you guessed it, automatic. Otherwise, you'll have to contact MEX support for details on performing the manual upgrade. Keep in mind these are only some of the enhancements and bug fixes resolved in the latest release. You can find the full release notes on the MEX user portal. If you have any questions or any issues, please get in contact with our support department at support@mex.com.au or call 61 7 3392 4777 and they'll be more than happy to help you out.